I guess I should make the videos in more detail instead of just being so panicky with them. It's easier for me to do it this way. Why? Why? It's not because, I'm a threat to them. It's just the PTSD flashbacks and them being triggers makes it very difficult to communicate effectively, especially with my disability. They ignore it at every turn, claiming it's nothing but, you're lashing out in a violent way. I was raped. It felt like my penis was being sliced off. They were causing property damage while my mother wasn't even home, forcing me to help cover it for them. They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to know that. They want to get away with murder. Well, let me tell you about Foxwood, Wood and Estel, Child Porn Productions, Threat to Life, John Estel and Blowjobs, Stocky as district judge. They want to silence me over my human trafficking story. I will not allow it, especially with Patrick Boggs' wife, his bitch wife's medical company, Primary Plus, denying patients oxygen. Oxygen. So let me tell you about that. I told Dr. Patty Positek that Percocet was the only thing that really helped. I took one, broke it into 4 pieces. I'm a victim of domestic violence. No, it's too addictive. Okay. Here's some more Lyrica, some more party drug disinhibiting Lyrica. And it just goes on and on and on. I can smell my own skin. And then I smell someone else's skin, but I don't see anyone. Hello? Hello? We want you out of here. Yeah, I know my family wants me gone. I'm not an idiot. Look what I've been fucking talking about. Just like the Kentucky State Police, one of the last times that I wrote into them about what had happened to me as a child, I forget what his name was, but he called, and flashback to the gold and scratching my face off, he called me a liar about being raped. I was told that men do not get raped. He called me a liar about being raped because I tried to go into detail about being sodomized by a dog when I was a child. Because let me tell you, I was the kid so stupid, I put my hand on a stove burner as soon as they turned it off. That wasn't a sign of mental health so much as, oh my God, the side effects of what they did to me. All they want to see is mental health, so let them see it. It is part of my religion. Some people cut for religious purposes. It's part of their belief system. So let me tell you how they violated my religious freedom. Sam Bavard and his homophobia. The statement of his that stuck out the most was, you cannot use the plural for transgender people, as in they. Well, you mention they all the time when you're talking about your federal official buddies in the state police. Let me tell you about that in the Kehoe rape barn. Me talking about things on social media, little Seth Bavard, who used to sit with men who were afflicted, said, do you want us to call in the people that we know to help with this? And I was like, no, I don't think I do, considering your family's past to this case. With, what was her name? Tammy? Or Tracy Douglas? I can't remember. 2nd grade teacher. She was another one that refused to allow me to report child abuse, instead saying that Seth Bavard said that never happened. Well, isn't that convenient? Just like with former Sheriff Tony Wins and his wife Charlotte, the secretary at Straub, their associate, Mr. Mason, the farmers, he wasn't the only one, offering to buy animals for me to screw to help, further Mason County's child porn production things. My statement to them was, you people need to generate clean revenue. Look up the Warwick Rowers and then ask some people on the forces who would be willing to do a calendar. Good, clean revenue. They said that that was sexual harassment. I said, define context, define revenue. We're going to put Mr. Boggs on December as Jesus like they tried to make me believe in their psychological torture warfare with nothing but a Bible. He can beat the demons out of people with it. See, I'm quite calm and collected when people aren't in my face choking me half to death. I can't breathe. I've been saying it since I was 11 years old in the milk barn where some of the rapes happened. Me coming to on the little wooden bench in the midsection of the barn next to a bag of dehydrated lime. As if that wasn't symbolic enough, dehydrated lime will eat right through human flesh. Maybe not immediately, but it's quite corrosive. Coming to on that table next to that bag of dehydrated lime. And the Dravo Carmoose men after 5 p.m., I walked over to the milking section of the barn and asked my mother, "Is it night or day? Why am I so disoriented?" She just giggled. I didn't feel persecuted. I picked up the shovel and started feeding the cows and moving the straps because before my father got sick, I was so filthy I wasn't allowed to handle the milking equipment. That's how my family treated me, but then they claimed I was just lazy. Just lazy. He's just lazy. He won't do anything. Let me tell you about Charles Lucas and my Uncle John and them having a huge falling out when I was a kid. I would speak to them as they would be driving home on their way from Emerson Power and Transmission. Shout out to Phyllis Maston and Nathaniel Abercrombie and the issue with that. Uncut circle jerking cops. I would speak to my uncles as they'd be driving home. They wouldn't even look my way. And let me tell you about my Uncle John running over a kid accidentally. Let me tell you about his wife, my Aunt Donna, and tampons up bad little boys' butts. Mr. Boggs and their Christmas parties. Never being able to escape law enforcement who had put me through hell in conversion reparative therapy with Comprehend backing their sick asses up. They want to complain about my behavior. It's called Tourette syndrome. It's a nervous tic. I've tried to document these things with physicians for years, only for them to fail to do it. They didn't even notate the skull fractures, and I do believe I've shown the photos of it. All the while, the University of Kentucky, my sex trafficker's alma mater, like I said, my family brought me things into the orthopedic ICU that day. I'm pretty sure they lifted them. People claim that I was in this horrific car accident and just don't remember it. Well, after being drugged, bludgeoned, raped, I probably don't. Who knows? So let me tell you, here, look at this photo. Here's evidence, perfect evidence of my DID. Here's me, dressed as a woman, and getting my ass kicked for it by Kermit and Dana Belcher and the Jefferson County garbage coming in from there. Here's me at my high school formal sending an SOS message because the law threatened to cut my dick off. And then here's me dressed up as a beautiful man with a woman on my arm to fit in with their beautiful little picture of anti-faggotry in Mason County. Let me tell you how many times I got my ass handed to me because of DID. And it caused PTSD with their bullying to the point I killed myself. They didn't care. They blamed it on drug usage while they were putting guns in my side and forcing me to buy their shit. That's called coercion. Just like with the kids stealing my medicine out of opiate-based pain management. So let me tell you how brutally honest I am about everything, only to have my ass handed to me over that as well. Just like I woke up and reported this morning. What's that weird vinegar smell? Oh, that's right. I looked it up. What does that smell like? Most of the time, it can smell like vinegar. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Hmm. Oh, well. So let me tell you about Van Ingram, director of Kentucky Narcotics, and his homophobic family. I know his nephew Phil and his son Mackenzie. And I just love the Google search that I did that said Maysville Police Department is a company owned by Van Ingram. And let me tell you about the Goldmans and their relation to Van Pimpenstein. So now, as I'm saying, add a girl, add a boy, add a Van Benzo Ingram. My Aunt Bonnie Horde, last time we were at Laurel Oaks Golf Course with the Pumpellies, well, not with them, we were dining alone. I ordered a vodka pineapple and a steak. Mr. Rick Pumpelly approached us to ask how our dinner was, and I said fine. I didn't speak to him too much for a goddamn reason. My aunt decided to say, "You hardly talk to poor old Rick." Well, let me tell you a story about poor old Rick, Kenton Nantucker. Ugly ass white cabinets and good counters. Let me tell you about Nurse Sandy, honey, and Pumpelly Plantation. Rick must have found out Kenton had posted about that and made him delete it. So you're welcome for all the monitoring I do. It's not my fault all their shit shows up in a news feed. You all watch that and let me know if anything good pops up. I'll review it. I didn't even want Facebook. You don't know how much they threatened me over getting social media. I had MySpace and then I was over it. This shit is... never mind. Oh no, get Facebook, get Facebook, get Facebook. They probably thought my meme posting about being a first wife to law enforcement was funny. Oh no, it's not funny. And just like I've talked about, Christy Boggs, ask her about it. Lexus, the United States Cross. Good cars, aren't they? They last forever. My 2004 RX 330 just rolled over 100,000 miles. Christie's, the one she had that I remember, is a little bit newer. Or wait a minute, no, that was the other one I'm thinking of. The first black one. I think hers was an '05 or an '06. Then she got the newer body style. How do I know? I know everything. I am the old church woman. Oh, let me pull up. One of the Kentucky State Troopers asked me, "Mr. Horde, how in the hell do you even know Sheriff Boggs?" Well, apparently he's related to me somehow, but I don't claim him. Why would I? Where's Auntie Regina's message? They want to see proof? I've got their proof right here. Oh, just like this one. What does this say? Hobe Sound? Yeah, but nobody believed that's part of the story either. It made people believe. Did Nan and Bill fake their death? Oh no. Oh no. As I said, Nan and Bill Kelly have heaven designed for everybody in the United States of America. Puzzles included. Now remember, kids, Hobe Sound, the good wholesome place, is just a skip away. And you know what? This song right here, Luke Combs, Lovin' on You, it has to be one of the best new songs of all times. I like Delaney. Anyway, squirrel! And it just never ends for me. Try this pill, try that pill. Zoloft to Paxil to Prozac to Celexa to Lexapro to Valium to Xanax to Ativan to Seroquel to Lamictal. You're the problem. Yes, yes I am. You people are on my last goddamn nerve. I don't have a problem with law enforcement. I like having people to look up to. Why wouldn't I? They made those goddamn daddy issues and then couldn't stand it when gay men would come around me. Could not stand it. Get away from our thing. So as I said, let me tell you about Jefferson County circa 2003. My Latino husband from there. All the while the Mason County people calling me a gringo. I understand their culture. I was married into it. I don't agree with certain aspects of it. I never have. My own family tried to make me live on the down low, man. If men need to do that sometimes, it's just that. No shit. I'm not a straight man. There's a big difference. You all do whatever the fuck makes you feel better and gets you through the day. It doesn't bother me. At the same time, don't get drunk and make me drive you home. I'm not staying neither. And then tell me no when I invite you to dinner. Kenton. You were due in court in which fucking country? In which fucking country? I was surprised to see the Mexico Supreme Court legalize cannabis. And the Canadians are now doing their thing. I don't particularly agree with handing out fentanyl, but if they can figure out ways to spearhead the opioid epidemic and it work, it's what we need to be thinking about. And I'll just say it publicly, and I hope the whole world sees it. Patrick Boggs made me cry that day in 2015. Why is he mad at me? He showed up that day. What was said about me? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Then he left for about 15 minutes to go question somebody else, supposedly. He came back madder than hell, looking like somebody had been petting him. Damn it, I wonder if I can find that picture. It's so perfect, and I bet it's on my telephone that I'm using. Anyway, people, all these people talking about, look at God's imagery in the night sky and the sunset. Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? Well, let me tell you about Mr. Boggs in a tuxedo. He looks good, doesn't he? Damn it, it is on my phone. Well, anyway, not that Patrick is a dog, but this really cute stray dog came to our house one day in Mason County. It was a black and white dog looking like he was wearing a tuxedo. And it was in the back doorway with the orange felin on its magic carpet hissing at it. Now that's what I call God's beauty. An interpretation of Mr. Boggs in my kitchen that afternoon. And my little story, to continue it, because it was traumatizing, he did make me cry. You all want to label it pure psychiatric? It's called neuropsychiatric. I laughed until I passed out at Halloween Kills when the character and her little drone thing crashes and she said, "Cheap piece of shit." I started laughing until I almost passed out, and then it kept going through him killing him. It's called pseudobulbar affect, or if I can read correctly. All over that woman saying, "Cheap piece of shit," and I passed out laughing. Just like I cry over the stupidest stuff. Why in the hell would I cry over Mr. Boggs being mad? I don't know what Alfred said to you, and I really don't care. That's just like with Mr. Palmer. Chief Palmer. That day with that shake and bake meth bottle. I was walking down the road, because after my dad died, I've been like a lost little puppy, as if the dementia symptoms weren't already bad enough. Walking down the road to clear my mind, I saw something that looked like it was an Aquafina bottle that looked like an IV bag, and I thought, what in the hell is that? What is that? Well, I just kept walking, but then on the way back, I'm like, you know what? I better pick that up, because if I don't, Mom will. And God only knows. So I went up to the house and got a protective, glove, picked it up by the cap. God damn it. Sorry, I cursed like a sailor. Picked it up by the cap and carried it and put it in the garbage can. But then curiosity got the best of me, and I forgot that curiosity always kills us cats. And I took a photo of it. I miss my stereo system, but I live with someone else now, and it bothers her. Everything about me bothers her, it seems. I don't mean to make her feel guilty, but it's just that way. Anyway, I carried it, put it in the trash, but curiosity got the best of me. So I took a picture of it. It went on social media. The Hamilton County people asked me, "Do you know what the fuck that is?" And I'm like, "No." "Shake and bake." And I'm like, "Well, what in the fuck's that?" "The only shake and bake I know is that stuff you put on chicken." And not marijuana chicken. Methamphetamine. And I'm like, holy hell. Well, I'm sure they're on their way with a court order. I better call. Well, let me tell you about the law enforcement's network of physicians recommending cannabis in Kentucky. Who cares if it's legal? Yeah, Charlotte Wentz is out in the waiting room the same day I'm having my appointment. Let's go out there and tell her. Ellen Moore, too. Like I said, I spoke to Mrs. Boggs that day in Kroger Pharmacy. Obviously, her husband had been gossiping with her. She looked at me like a piece of shit and wouldn't even speak. Ellen Moore apologized for her behavior, and Christy, as the manager of Kroger, I don't know whether they fired her or whether she resigned, but her going to Primary Plus was probably the stupidest thing she could have done. Let me point out the doctors that I'm aware of in that practice and their activities. So you all think I don't know anything. So you go right ahead and ask about Nathaniel Abercrombie. Gossiping, it doesn't bother me. Nathaniel Abercrombie and the Bethel, Ohio people. Sheriff McGuffey's on their city council. I find that quite interesting, too. Did you grow up in that area? I wonder if she's a biker. As far as Sheriff McGuffey is concerned, I could see the look on her face as soon as she was reading the statement about that guard here in Hamilton County importing cannabis as contraband. If she wrote that herself, the people who reviewed it need to be audited. And if someone wrote it for her, they need to be audited. Why? Because you never say that. If cannabis were totally illegal in this state, that would have been appropriate. It's not. Believe me, I know all about things coming back to bite you in the ass. Hold. What do you want for dinner? No, I snacked on it last night. There's the bacon wrapped chicken, there's stuffed chicken, there's vegetables, there's the tortellini, there's all kinds of stuff. There's dry pasta. Okay. Well, so like I said, the conversion, reparative therapy, mashing kids like potatoes for nothing thing, and then the law enforcement continuing it for absolutely no reason, other than me not being able to understand them or articulate my words correctly, or I try to explain it, and all they see is the panic attack freaking out. It's annoying. Anxiety is a disability covered by the ADA, just like Tourette's syndrome in public places. People claim that I was harassing them. Well, let me show you their nudes. As I said, you never ever back a lady into a corner with enough people to sit and watch the world crumble. Let me show you. Well, I already showed you the one photo of me sending the SOS message about them cutting my dick off. What am I thinking of? Damn. But they claimed that they had no clue. They claimed they had no clue. You all went to college where? To interpret these things? And you just figured out emojis. Man. I like snuggles. And see, they never liked me. They couldn't find the humor in it. And then the men who did, it's called Tourette's syndrome. Their physicians diagnosed it as the shits of the mouth while probably failing to document it. Well, like I said, Christy Boggs Company, Primary Plus. I witnessed my mother's oxygen saturation level below 90 twice. They blamed it on the oximeter batteries. But they were sure to give her nicotine patches. Just like with Patty. I'm not comfortable refilling your Percocet. That's fine. Here's more Lyrica. They'll help you fill out the financial aid. Let me tell you how much of a party drug Lyrica is. Not that I was abusing mine. I'm simply stating. I forgot and took another one time, and I thought, I don't even need to drink tonight. Oh, Mr. Horde, what is your problem? How crazy are you? Mr. Boggs made me cry that day, and there's a pattern here. And I spaced out a minute because I was having an overwhelming thought. The cops won't give people their time. I wonder... The way they always told me is, we don't have to stop. Oh well. It could. Well, then I guess someone... Instead of anyone sitting down and taking the time to hear the story, because they called me a liar and didn't believe me, they funneled me into their mental health shit. So let me tell you about Comprehend and Cindy and Bo Spence, related to Aflac and that whole thing. Let me see if I can find, I think it's under various pictures. Here's my little message with it. I was hazed in 2005 by Maysville Police Department with alcohol. Look what they did to a vehicle that Deputy Vice's son sold us. And notice where it's left. Commissioner Day's Body Shop. And I wonder why I left it at Commissioner Day's after being hazed by them. Now I want you to be sure and see the license plate message that I had left. Queer tachycardia. Bo Spence. Anyway. Taser tachycardia. And that's how cool I am. Nobody ever thought to pick up on the messages, why I was pretending to cut my thumb off in a photo, but I guess that's just a hallucination or a delusion, according to Comprehend. Tina Jones Wallace and falsifying bullshit for the Hulls. So let me tell you about the Hull family and the drug sales within the school district. We used to pass out in Christy Calvert Campbell's biology class in the science wing for no reason, with Homeland Security as our school board. So of course it wasn't suspicious. Her husband, Jesus Christ, JC. UPS. Well, let me tell you about Paul Jackson. Paul and Laura and their farm on Jersey Ridge, where Betsy has had her field parties, her wild field parties with drugs and alcohol. And guess what? She now works for Kentucky Probation and Parole. How convenient for the state of Kentucky to haze and drug children, rape them, then funnel them into mental health care. Laura's family lives down around where Senator Paul got beat up. I think they hazed Duncan. After reading over it, I'm pretty sure they hazed him. Why wouldn't they? Sickos. Not Paul and Laura. I'm saying I think Duncan Paul was hazed. That's how sick people are in this world. Just like the Pelosi's. They were going to get one of them. They were going to get one of them. And they just happened to get him out in California. Let me tell you how crazy Mason County was, making me watch videos of Mrs. Pelosi talking about Joe Scarborough. How in the world can you continue to support the Democratic Party and this, that, and the other? She's what, like 80 and weighs maybe 5 pounds? She probably had one martini at lunch. Just like them forcing me to watch reassignment surgery videos when I was a kid. You have no idea the length of torture that they went to. They don't like people like me talking about everything publicly. Well, that's too goddamn bad. They don't like language. They're offended by language. Flashback to me being maced again and me cutting my face off because it itches. It doesn't burn, it itches. And that's how bad the sensory deficits were for me. And they claimed absolutely no responsibility. And let me tell you how they told me drug addiction was not a disability after Hayes drugging me and locking me into their system to milk us dry. All because my father had apparently pissed off the Maysville police and the Mason County Sheriff's Department a long time ago when they drugged him, set up a roadblock to catch him, and he apparently ran right through it. Whether that's true or not, I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. But let me tell you how they continue to bully me because of their behavior. And let me tell you more about theirs. Like I said, Patrick and Christy met online, I'm almost positive, but don't quote me on that, it's 100% factual. And after they had done my child porn and human trafficking, the Canadians really were asking for live shows via webcam. And then there comes Malibu Barbie. She won't even say hello. Oh, may they turn so red with embarrassment they explode. Oh well. So let me tell you about waking up every day to pretend be drug tested for probation and parole or whatever after being drugged and raped and then refusing to take accurate statements. Let me tell you about Lieutenant Toby Gardner with the Kentucky State Police, who's supposedly really good with falsified documentation. Is he related to Auntie Elaine from the Wesleyan Church and them allowing a canine to sodomize me? I know Auntie Elaine's related to Aflac, and I wish I had screenshotted Aflac's photo of him holding a handgun telling me, I got your shield laws right here, bitch, on social media. You go right ahead and threaten me with D. Hull. So when Mr. Boggs sent Devin Hull out to fetch me that day, back in 2019, I said the day of reckoning is upon us, children. Like I had stated, if Kim Razor had followed due process protocol, I would have snapped the pen and told her, this is going to blow up in all of our faces. Enjoy it. Oh well. You're not allowed to speak to us like that. I had a sitting judge ejaculate on my face as a child. I will say whatever the hell I feel like, especially the ones overruling this Hayes drugging bullshit. So let me tell you about Foxwood Wood and Nestle, blowjobs, video voyeurism, child pornography, the prosecuting attorney being the nephew, now a sitting judge, and his little buddy Kim Razor, not wanting this story to get out. Oh well.